Shawn Dean Oliver was a precious gift from God, born to Larry and Judy Oliver on September 21st, 1961 in Kansas City, Missouri. He stole the hearts of everyone who saw him, always smiling with those beautiful blue eyes and platinum blonde hair. His father was a police officer for the Kansas City Police Department and rode a big Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Shawn loved to sit with his daddy for hours on that. Shawn Dean Oliver was a precious gift from God, born to Larry and Judy Oliver on September 21st, 1961 in Kansas City, Missouri. He stole the hearts of everyone who saw him, always smiling with those beautiful blue eyes and platinum blonde hair. His father was a police officer for the Kansas City Police Department and rode a big Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Shawn loved to sit with his daddy for hours on that bike and always wanted to wear his helmet. His daddy loved him so, and he nicknamed him his little partner. Shawn's mama, papa, and Aunt Susie lived in Indiana. They wanted to move closer so that they too could be a part of their first grandchild's life. Loving and of course spoiling him came way too easy as he captured hearts everywhere he went. He loved to play hide and seek with him. Closing his eyes, he would call out, "Come find Ho! Where's Ho?" As all children do, Shawn had a very special way of saying his own name, Ho de la la, interpreted into Shawn Dean Oliver. This is where his nickname came from, and he was fondly known as Ho and Kunkle Ho. Shawn is preceded in death by his father, Officer Larry Dean Oliver, who was tragically killed in the line of duty in 1968. In August 1969, Shawn and his mom moved to North Glen, Colorado. He attended Malley Elementary and enjoyed playing pee-wee football as an all-star quarterback. He also excelled in Little League Baseball and was the superstar pitcher for the Northern Lights baseball team. He was very gifted and quite the little athlete. Moving to Broomfield out in the country was exciting and fun for a little boy who loved dirt bikes and motorcycles. He had miles and miles to ride his motorcycles, shoot his BB guns, run, play, and even fish. It was a little boy's paradise, and he loved it so. In junior high and high school, Shawn continued his love of sports and also enjoyed playing football, basketball, and tennis. He was introduced to and discovered his great love for the game of golf. He loved all sports from a very early age and was a natural at everything he tried. Shawn's sophomore year of high school, he attended Mountain States Baptist Academy. This is where the two of us met, falling in love and becoming high school sweethearts. Also during these young teenage years, he gave his heart to Christ and was baptized in our church along with his best friend, Timmy Godby. Shawn played on the golf team and graduated from Broomfield High School in 1979. Also in 1979, we were blessed with a beautiful baby girl, Lissa Renee. She had platinum blonde hair and gorgeous blue eyes, just like her daddy's. Along with fatherhood, he loved being a big brother when his mom had his two little sisters, Jamie and Jen. On Valentine's Day, 1983, Shawn once again declared his love for me and asked me to marry him. Our dreams finally came true, and on June 11th, we had a beautiful garden wedding out in the country, and the two of us became one. We started our lives together at our first little home in North Glen. Shawn worked as an assistant pro at a variety of country clubs. He was involved in what he enjoyed most, and that was the game of golf. In 1986, as our little family continued to grow, Shawn had the awesome and wonderful opportunity to deliver our little boy at home. No, this wasn't a planned home delivery, as Jeff decided to come 2 weeks early and surprise us all. But this precious little blessing reminded us once again who God was and how much He loved us. The same year in which our son, Jeffrey Dean Oliver, was born, Shawn's stepfather, Doug Huddleston, was killed in a plane crash. Loving his younger sisters and his stepsister Shelley, he tried filling in as their father figure as best as he could. Shawn had such a great big heart, and he loved with all that he had, always offering his support and encouragement.
Dad loved swimming and playing with all of us kids, but what he loved most was scaring the living daylights out of us. He would hide wearing a Freddy mask and take every opportunity to give us a fright, especially if he was coming home and noticed the door was left unlocked. He would excuse the terror he had invoked, saying, "You should have locked the door." Though he didn't always need an excuse. One late night in the mountains, my friend Craig and I were riding our bikes home from his house. As the ride was mostly uphill, we began walking the bikes halfway. We approached the driveway and heard growling in the bushes. Of course, we stopped and tried to concentrate in the direction of the noise. Out of the trees appeared a big black bear. Knowing it was not wise to run, we stood motionless next to our bikes in the middle of the road. Suddenly, the bear began to charge, standing on his hind legs and releasing a chilling roar. Craig remained motionless, stunned with fear. I, however, went into flight mode. I threw down my bike and ran for the front door. In my terror, I tripped over a rock, but continued to crawl on my hands and knees, determined to make it to safety. As I approached the door, I realized the growling had turned to laughter. The wild bear was actually my dad wearing Tabby's bear rug over his back. That was one of the many wonderful traits that Dad possessed. He loved to laugh and make others laugh with his cunning sense of humor. Even in the most serious of situations, he still knew how to lighten the mood and make us smile. When my mom had her brain tumor back in 2002, he would disguise his voice as Arnold, saying, "It's not a tumor." Or in 2005, when he started chemotherapy, he told us to call him Luke for leukemia. No matter the circumstance, he could always make us laugh. More than he was a comedian, he was a loving husband, father, son, brother, uncle, cousin, and friend. And to one very special little girl, he was known only as Beeps. Though it was obvious how much he loved us by his actions, he would never assume we already knew. He made sure to tell us every chance he got. Every time we'd leave the house, end a phone conversation, or go to bed, he assured us how much he loved us. I couldn't have asked for a better father, role model, and friend. Dad wanted the best for all of us. In his wisdom, he knew that the best could only be achieved through a relationship with God. He was a strong, loving, admirable Christian man, and I am proud to say I want to be just like him. Though he has been my hero for as long as I can remember, there was a specific event in 2002 that made me realize the amazing God-fearing man he was. He took me to a Promise Keepers retreat at the Pepsi Center. This was the most amazing 3 days we had ever spent together. We both learned so much about life and the importance of living it for Christ. My beliefs and personal relationship with God was revitalized on that weekend with my dad.
Dad had such a love for singing and music. He never gave up an opportunity to pull out the karaoke machine and encourage us all to sing with him. He and I had several opportunities to sing together at a variety of family events. Whether it was a song of celebration at a wedding, one of comfort at a funeral, or a just having fun at a 50s shindig being Elvis and Connie Francis, we enjoyed singing together every chance we got. Dad and I would spend hours recording our songs together, analyzing and perfecting our musical creations. We were so much alike in so many ways. If we weren't singing together, we would be talking for hours on the phone with one another. In our conversations, I would learn so much on how I wanted to live my life and how I wanted to react and respond. His advice was always perfect, always just what I needed at that moment, inspiring me to be a good mother and wife, a woman that loves the Lord, and a daughter who makes him proud. When I married the man of my dreams, my dad gladly welcomed him into the family. He resumed his fatherly guidance and was such an encouragement and role model to Tim on being a godly husband, father, and leader in our home. Dad was always devoted to his family, prioritizing them above everything else. Even some of my close friends relied on him as a father figure in their lives. Dad loved much and played hard. He loved hot tubbing, taking the kids for rides on his four-wheeler, golfing with his buddies, and playing pool, which he had mastered from every angle. He had a true love for pets, especially his beloved Dakota and his sweet little Bella. He also took pride in making the house and the mountain property a beautiful place for him and Mom to call home. He loved socializing, laughing, and joking with family and friends. Without words, Dad was still able to make us giggle with his silly faces and crazy tongue contortions.
As most of you know, Shawn and I have been blessed with our adorable 7-year-old granddaughter, Tabitha Renee. The joy that she brings to our hearts and the excitement she brings to our lives have been such a blessing to us both. When she was learning to talk, Shawn referred to her creative babble as the language Tabanese. This is how we so fondly acquired our names, Ninny and Beepy. She is our little princess, and of course in Shawn's eyes, the sun rose and set with his little angel. As all princesses do, Tabby loves to dance, and dancing with her Beeps was a common event that took place whenever the two of them were together. Beepy always said that Tabby was his little Cinderella and a precious gift from God. She most definitely had him wrapped around her little finger. Her Beeps was always more than happy to play dress-up, have tea parties, play babies, and of course watch Barbie and princess movies with her. He really got a thrill taking her shopping for her first pink set of golf clubs. Once they arrived at the golf course, he was delighted to see that she had a natural talent just like her Beeps. Tabitha was an absolute godsend to our family. Shawn truly adored this little girl and was so happy and proud of her the night she came home and told him that she had asked Jesus into her heart at the Easter production here at Faith. It brought him to tears just knowing that his pride and joy had a love for God. It truly fulfilled the desires of his heart.
Back in May of this year, Dad was diagnosed with myeloid dysplasia syndrome. A few months later, he told us that he would like to take us all to Hawaii for a family vacation. Overwhelmed with excitement, we all started making preparations for our big trip. Dad worked so hard for countless hours on the phone and internet, making sure that everything would be just perfect. The trip was booked, and we were all eager with anticipation. On September 21st, Dad was admitted to the hospital due to severe chest pains. As the week went on, he became sicker and weaker. Every time a doctor or nurse came into his room, he expressed his wishes and strong desire to get well enough to board the plane on Monday. As Sunday came, it was quite obvious the doctors were not going to release Dad, but he insisted we all go home, get packed, and ready to go. On Monday morning, God sent a specific doctor into Dad's room. Dad explained his desires to him, and the doctor went against his medical obligation and decided to release Dad to go to Hawaii. Mom, Jeff, Kara, Tim, Taba, and myself were all waiting anxiously at the airport, still not sure if Dad would arrive so that we could all board the plane. Dad's best friend, Stan, picked him up from the hospital and drove him straight to us. We arrived in Kauai, and we were all so thankful that Dad's dream became reality. Dad was brought to tears as he watched us all play in the ocean. He was overjoyed that he had this moment. We created amazing memories that we will cherish forever.
Shawn was the love of my life. He was my protector, my confidant, my lover, and my friend. I will always cherish the life that we built together. He loved me so tenderly and made all of my dreams come true. He loved the Lord with his whole heart and wanted to be the best husband and father that he could be. And he was. Our kids were so very blessed. They had the most amazing and loving father. He shared with us his unbelievable strength, courage, and wisdom. Baby doll, you are the most kind, loving, and considerate man I know, and my heart will belong to you always. I will forever and always love you.